Welcome back to another Supercoach video. My name is Jackson. You are watching the round 12 review for Supercoach 2021. Apologies for both lateness in the video and my voice throughout. I've been incredibly sick over the weekend and I've been coughing non-stop. So whether or not I can actually get through the full video without coughing everywhere is going to be a challenge. And if you've been watching for a while, you know I hate editing. This is all just one take, one shot. Whatever gets said lands in the final edit. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that if I start one of my coughing fits, but we will try. So the week overall, yeah, very good for me, which was kind of expected. I didn't really have too many premiums missing from round one, just the 3. So I was able to field 20, even though I held Grundy, and yeah, got a pretty good result in the end with that. So at 2098, it was actually a bit over 2100, and then scaling on that final game got me, which was a bit of a shame. But that puts me back inside the top 1000, which is good, definitely heading in the right direction. And this is what I was looking for. I thought, you know, part of the problem with my team is I've been carrying way too much money in the bank, which you can see there. I mean, that's effectively 2 premiums that are just kind of sitting in my bank account. And I knew that having the extra rookies on the field were really killing my overall ranks. So as soon as we got to the buys and I could fix it up with the extra trades, things would kind of stabilize a little bit, and we definitely saw that in week 1. So my trades for the week were, it's so long ago now. So I got... And there we go, edit 1, kids daycare. Love them like that. So where were we up to? I think we're just about to jump into some of the... Oh yeah, we're talking about big bank, yeah, and now that we're in the buys, can kind of fix some of those problems, which is good. Don't have to field a crazy number of rookies compared to the field anymore, which should help stabilize me, and hopefully a lot of the preparation I've done in terms of getting ready for the buy round will now actually pay off, which would be really handy. So just quickly flying through the backs. Laird obviously was very good, Lloyd was alright, Ridley and Short were both disappointing. A bit of talk about trading Ridley, just because he gets lockdown jobs on smalls now, which definitely hurts his scoring, and the fact he's lost his kickouts is by far the biggest deal. I can't see anyone looking so good in round 14 that you've got a luxury trade to get rid of Ridley. We'll definitely talk about strategy for those 2 trades later on in this video, but yeah, that one doesn't seem to make sense to me. Shorty's one that's a little bit more annoying. It's one of those things where we picked him thinking he'd score pretty well, and sure enough, 95 average so far. But we knew that if Hooley went down for any reason throughout the year, that average would really jump up, and he'd be probably one of the better scoring defenders. And Hooley, after a 6-month calf injury, has managed to string it together for the whole year so far. Definitely don't want to wish injury upon anyone, so it's good to see that Hooley's been able to play out and his body's been able to hold up. But boy, it's hurting Short's Supercoach scoring, that's for sure. And then Murphy's score was one that was dropped. He was played a little bit all over the shop, but he's actually pushing up high half forward, which was interesting. Mainly he'd been playing more wing defence, and this time it's in more wing into half forward, which yeah, hurt his scoring, being a marking target playing out of the forward. Yeah, this is just a super annoying pick. He was on track for 80, got concussed, missed a game, came back, bad roll. His break-even's already, you know, not particularly great now. I think it's like 33, so he might get one more price rise if he gets another game, but I do need to flip one of Murphy and Highmore, and I was hoping they'd get to like 220, and I'm going to be lucky if he gets 200 and Highmore ain't making any more money. Highmore's break-even's 58 or something now, which is nuts. Like, yeah, I'll just touch on him quickly. Obviously, his score didn't count either. He got moved forward, which was weird. On the wing, he didn't actually look too bad, but obviously he came on as the medical stub after a quarter time. And anytime you do that, it just really hurts your scaling, because you haven't been there during, you know, important parts of the game. You just don't get the good scaling. And yeah, Highmore's score just awful. Break even, just, yeah, nuts. Jones would be good to have him back this week. And Bianco, I traded in Bianco. Oh, that's what I think I was talking about, what my trades were. That's where I was at. See, this is why we do it in one take, because as soon as you interrupt, you lose train of thought. No good anymore. So we'll touch on trades after I cover Bianco. Bianco was very, very good. Someone actually reviewed in the film review for everyone at George's Discord this week, and I really liked what I saw in Bianco. For those that don't know much about him, he was the captain of the Oakley Chargers team that Rao and Noah Anderson and all them were in. I think Ugle Hagen was in it as well in his underage year. Yeah, averaged in the mid-20s of disposals. He's an elite. Oh, I shouldn't say elite so carelessly, but he's a very good user, high footy IQ. Bucks has likened him as to Pendles in that sense, where he doesn't have necessarily the athletic profile upside of some of the other top mids, but his decision-making and foot skills and hand skills see him really elevate. And yeah, he just naturally seems to find it. He's a good user, good decision-maker, has had an amazing first 2 games, and him debuting for 75 is more than you could ever ask for. His break-even is now negative 84, so if you don't have him, someone you should be looking at getting in, even though he does have that bad buy. So yeah, my trades. Damn, this is really taking me back. What did I do? So I got rid of Rowe. I had to get rid of one of Rowe or Warner. I ended up picking to get rid of Rowe. And I got in Bailey Dale from the Dogs. I traded out Flynn and got in Callum Coleman-Jones. And then finally, I had to get rid of someone else for Bianco. Kazishki from the Hawks, who was on bye. Would have loved to be able to carry him through the bye rounds, but he had a high break even, so kind of had to go. And yeah, trading in CCJ and Bianco, who both have that last bye, is not good, but they just look like solid scoring options that'll actually make money. So there are no other rookies. You have to bring them in and kind of just cop it. Bianco's now got a negative 84 break even. Callum Coleman-Jones backing up his huge first game with an 86 has now got a negative 102 break even, which is massive. And you know, trading out Rowe over Warner was a right move, I believe, even though neither of them scored particularly well. What did Rowe score? 32. 7 points. Yeah, that's the elite set coach score, and it doesn't even matter because the score was dropped from the best 18 anyway. Whatever. And then Bailey Dale was interesting. So originally I was going to go for Heaney because I liked the cheaper option and I needed the extra money. But the 2 extra trades does mean that probably don't have to cheap out on some of the last premiums. And with Warner having the bad last buy round, and news coming out that he was playing on a cooked ankle, he'd had 3 injuries this year already. It's just a no. It's just the hardest of no's. So Warner got replaced by Bailey Dale, who's got a, in comparison, very favourable buy. Shouldn't really struggle to field like a good 18 this round. In the mids, Oliver actually had a bit of a down game, was the vice captain, which, you know, you definitely can see those coming when you have these big blockbuster matches between top sides that your premiums don't always come through. They always make me feel a little bit more uncomfortable. And then I actually went to see Bontempelli, but so I was watching the match with the little countdown lockout timer. Was down to the final 10 seconds, just waiting to see if Sarong went to either McRae or Bont. And he wasn't going to Bont, so I went to flick the C, but I got locked out. I must have missed it by half a second, if that, because it actually came through that Bont was captain. Then it reversed it. Oh, it was weird. So I missed out on 20 points there, but look, happy with that either way. Steele was actually someone I really liked as an option again, and I didn't do it. He was good. I know some people went Laird, which was amazing, and Merritt was also a good captain option. Walsh wasn't bad either. Like, really hard to go wrong. Midfield actually, like, as a whole, performed really well, apart from Oliver. And funny enough, like, I had Gorn last week, he didn't score well. Went to Oliver this week, he didn't score well. I just seemed to keep missing on those two. And one of them's likely my captain option this week, so that's get to miss that again, which is awesome. So Bont and McRae were both amazing. I mean, Bont's 49 actually felt unders, but he did get attention in the second half and just wasn't getting as much of the pill anymore, so that hurt his score. Steele was great, Merritt was great, Walsh was great. There's not really too much to say. Brayshaw, really good bounce back game for him, especially against the Dogs midfield that do eat up midfielder points. He's someone that is looking like, if you were to use one of your 2 extra trades to sideways a premium, Brayshaw would be the one for me, just given the lower average, the propensity to drop a 70 in games where he gets attention. But yeah, pulled a really nice 120, made some cash, puts his break even lower to another achievable level, which is really good. They play the Gold Coast Suns this week, so I would expect hopefully another 120 from him. Poulter has been absolutely amazing, an 89. Oh, hats off. Yeah, hats off to him. He's now almost 300k. He should be at 320-ish K next week. I think his break even's only like 22. So if he drops his average again, he's going to make another 20k on this at least, which is great. Here comes the call. Yay. Okay, so Berry in the midfield, yeah, obviously was concussed from the week before, so didn't play. His break-even, I think, is around his average in the 50s. RCD dropped a stinker. I'm really glad I started pulled over him. So RCD's got to go. His break-even's up at 59, and with the returns to the Tigers midfield, he's just not getting those CBAs anymore. With the Presti injury, it would help, but honestly, he's made, a bit over 100k, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to have been a bit more than that, especially given he did have that 88 in his rolling average, but yeah, it is what it is. He's done his job. He's got to go. McRae, will he ever get another game? Who knows? Grundy, I held. I really liked the Grundy to Nick Nat trade, but that was when Nick Nat was going to have the middle bye. So you would have fielded Gawn and Reeves, had Nick Nat out. Then you go to the final bye, and you still have Reeves and Nick Nat with Gawn out. But with Nick Nat now sharing the same bye as Gawn, didn't really like that as much. I didn't really like Darcy for the same reason. Riley Bryan was like interesting just because you made more money, but same thing. So if I was going to trade Grundy out, it probably would be this week to someone like Goldie, which is not super appealing. So I probably won't. But yeah, that was kind of the thought process there. Then the forward line, we had a whole bunch of, so Zeeble, Hall, and Impey all out. Those were the three primos I was missing. But then Dale on debut, 96 was, just all right. Dusty, 102, just all right. This really hurts when other people have, like Zorko, who's scored a 122, and there's another popular option. Bolton had a really nice game, another 120. So this has been hurting. Warner sucked, as we mentioned already. And then Waitman was great. Oh, it feels so good to get rewarded for making the right decision this year. So Waitman versus Madden, paying up the extra 50k for someone that we thought would have that job security, have that upside. And sure enough, the injuries came back. Madden got dropped. Waitman had a good game and feels good. Now, Madden owners, don't distress. You got a little bit fortunate because the re-injury did occur for Leicester, right? So there's actually a decent chance after his bye, Madden comes back in. But Payne from Brisbane Lions could be back at the same time. So it'll be interesting. Does he get a job over Payne? Who knows? And then Waterman did a decent job, that 57. He's going to be a bit sketchy on job security and one that anyone that has really hoping will play that final bye round. So with Peter Wright to come back still, Essendon's forward line's going to be too tall. So someone's going to have to be dropped or managed. And I can't imagine they're going to manage on anyone after the bye. So unless Waterman gets a job up the field with McGrath's injury, which I don't know, I don't think he's tanks at that level yet. I think he's a candidate to get dropped, which is a little bit scary. I really want him to play just one more game. And he had an okay game, right? Like he could hold his head high. There's a chance he gets selected, especially if he's in the coach's good books. But yeah, dicey. All right, so I guess a couple of big things this week are what do you do with your extra trades? Let's start with that one because it's a pretty important one. So, I don't want to pile on to the Supercoach team because they do their best. They try their best every year. But I don't really like the 2 extra trades. And I'm pretty sure the reason why they've done this is this is the pattern from last year. It's easier for them to add trades and add trades to the round than it is to do stuff like change it from best 18 to best 16. So the reason why I don't like this is it encourages you to trade out premiums. So this sideways trading of premiums isn't really what Supercoach is all about. It's about managing your resources effectively. And once you've made decisions to take some of these premiums, you kind of have to cop them for better or worse throughout the year. I'd made a couple of bad swaps already, and I was lower on trades than I should have been. I should get punished for that. Giving me extra trades to help bail me out of the situation, I don't think is really good or really fair. And the other problem is that there are many people that will have Short, Martin, and Bolton. So if you have all those 3, right, that are now in that final buy, and you get 2 extra trades, it doesn't help you. You're still much worse off. And, if you have CCJ, which is a must-have for everyone, that's 4 that they're going to have. I would have liked to have seen it go to best 15 and 1 extra trade be given rather than 2. And the other problem with 2 trades being given out, while this is true of everyone, there aren't really any good rookies to downgrade to at the moment. We're already going to struggle to find enough. So having an extra trade this week isn't very useful to me if there's no one for me to get an extra downgrade in. It doesn't do much. So a lot of people are looking or thinking about, can I use these trades to sideways? And the problem is, like, say I want to sideways short or Ridley, and say, I don't know who I would want to get them to anyway, but say I want to get them to someone at 550k, I've got to still somehow make up 80, 90 grand for this to happen. So I can't just sideways them. I have to do one down, one sideways. So really, in doing that, I've only solved, like, maybe I've got a better buy rookie and I've sorted one premium out. And that's what your 2 trades gets you. It doesn't let me do 2 sideways. It doesn't let me do anything else. It doesn't really help. So yeah, not a huge fan of the trades, but look, it's the same for everyone. There's no point complaining about it. We may as well just figure out how we can use that to the best advantage. And my advice would be, don't think about sidewaysing 2. You're not going to get 2 out of it. If you're going to be short at the end on trades, you're only going to have 2 trades left after a full team. Try and keep them. Try and get to 3 or 4 trades left at the end if you can, because just having 2 trades left for the last 8 rounds is not any good. So yeah, I won't be looking to aggressively use them. I think I'll be looking to play more conservatively with my 2 extra trades. So let's just jump into what those trades might look like for this week and kind of structuring up the team. So I think that's like edit 4. I'm not traveling well at all. Oh geez, deterioration's real. So I think my my backline looks like that. Who else do I need to get off? Maybe just leave on Bont as a spirit animal. Get some of these other ones off too. That's good. See what we've possibly got. I mean, I'm not really counting McRae as someone in. I wouldn't be banking on Highmore getting a game either. And if they do, you don't want them. Like, what, give you 20 points? Who cares? Grundy's obviously no bueno. And then I loaded up on the extra because I knew I could take it. So looking like that. All right, so Warner for me has to go. He's got a break even of 77 now. RCD break even of 59 and Berry a break even of 50. And what we've seen fairly commonly is when these players come back from a concussion, they don't often have the best game. So even though Berry had been starting to find some really good form, I wouldn't expect that to carry on. So those 2 I like trading out. And who else did I mention already? Oh, Collier Dawkins. Okay, so these are the 3 that are the obvious trade out targets for me. Now, the problem is I want to get 2 defenders this week. I want to get Stewart and Whitfield, who I think are both great defender options coming off their bye. I've been talking about them for a few weeks now. So Bianco and Laird into the midfield. Let's get Whitfield and let's get Stewart. Finally, the big bank is coming into play, which is really handy. And then I need to get a forward in, so we're going to put CCJ in there. And then finally, we'll get Reeves, who had 124k with a break even of -98, averaging 86. That looks like a very handy on-field option through the buys. This is what I was saying, like, I've got this extra trade here, but what am I going to use it on? 153,000 doesn't let me upgrade anyone. I could sideways out a Brayshaw. You know, I really want Parrish just because I like Parrish, but would I do that next week, use 153k on Parrish from Brayshaw? Probably not. This could get me out of short, but, you know, do I want to pay up for Callum Mills? He's got the same bad buy, so no. You go someone like Daniel Rich, but I don't trust his body or that his form will carry for the year. Chris got the same bad buy. Doherty, he's now playing up more up the ground. He's not scoring as well. Then who does that leave me? Honestly, unless I'm, you know, so if I want to get out of Ridley, fine. I don't want Daniel either. If you want to get out of Ridley, that's fine. But I just don't see how you do it through the buys. You've got to short, like all the good targets in the last buy, you just have to hold. Yeah. So, all right. So I think that's the trades now. In terms of like captain, vice captain, I really like Steele against the Crows, and then for the captain option, well, hopefully it'll be Bont this week. Hopefully that'll pay off. Otherwise, maybe Gawn against whoever Collingwood's got rucking. Like, I think that's probably pretty safe. Oliver for a bounce back game, that might be good too. If you have Josh Kelly, then this is a good week to be playing around with him as the vice captain, I think, against North. Whitfield, I don't hate as a speculative option, but you know, I would only if you have a good captain option to follow that up. Apart from that, there's no one else that really stands out too much as a really strong option. Yeah. Oh, and actually, by the way, if you've got Zorko, unless you're absolutely flush on trades and you know, or you're going for #1 overall and you're in the top 10 or whatever, I wouldn't be getting rid of him. He's 600k, which is great, but he looks like he's going to be top 6 forward from here on out. So you've got to find a then way to get him back in, or you just got to bet against him continuing that form, which I think is, you know, pretty risky for a trade. So yeah, I only do that if you flush on trades or you're at the top and you're looking for something to get a big advantage on. I guess for those that are looking for another downgrade option this week, those that are looking for an alternative option, Holmes from the Cats is 122k, minus 40 break even, 56.5 average. But the problem with him is job security. Once some of those injured Cats come back, Guthrie, Duncan, Dangerfield, does he still have a job on the side? Probably not. You've got Roses at Gold Coast, 124k, 5 break even, 34.5 average. He's also on the bubble. There's a small forward role. Think like a worse Rankine. Whether or not he holds his spot, pretty speculative. Maybe better job security than Holmes, but terrible scoring. I'm not really sure if you want him. Tracy's the other interesting one, or Trakey, Big Kahuna from Freo. He's actually played 6 games, but had scored terribly up until his last game where he put together like an 80 or something. 162k, ruck forward option, minus 32 break even now. The issue is he's showed us 5 games of terrible scoring and he's got the bad bye, so I'm not really sure you can jump on him. There are a couple... who else is on the bubble? Jacka for the Hawks. Emerson, I want to say his name is. Hasn't played in the side for a little bit now, but if he gets a game back, if they want to keep playing the youth, I'm not sure they will. He's another one a bit like Roses, where at 28.5 break even... 28.5 average... 17 break even, 124k. You could try and get him in for 1 week cover. I guess the problem with all of these is most people shouldn't have a problem fielding enough this round. And as a result, you don't really want to be trading in these speculative rookies with bad job security for round 13, only to have them dropped round 14 when you desperately need them. So I'm not going to trade in Holmes because I don't think he plays round 14. I'm not going to trade in Roses because I don't think he's going to play round 14. And even if he does, the score isn't going to count for much. So the extra trade this week does pretty much nothing for me. The ones that you should be keeping your eye out for... the other person's on the bubble, I think, is O'Connor. Ronan O'Connor from the Crows. Once again, bad bye, just avoid. Scoring hasn't been good either. So yeah, Reeves is the only like good option coming off the bye that you should be jumping on. Otherwise, if you're looking for someone from the last bye, like Bianco and Coleman Jones, they're the only 2 that are worth getting. All these others, just write them off. We are actually at the point now where we're... and who was it? Foley, and there was a West Coast debutant, Edwards. I think it's Edwards that, I think Foley played his second game. His first was like a 6 or a 3 or something as a medical sub, and then he scored a 67 on the weekend. So he's actually, had a good full game, 128k. I think his break-even's in the low single digits now. But bad last bye, and then Edwards... debut game, so you can wait on him, but also bad last bye, so just don't get him. I think what we're hoping for this week, and this is what teams going to be pretty important for, is we're looking for some of those mid-season drafts to come through and debut, which is pretty lucky. A lot, would be pretty fortunate for us. A lot of them were speculative rucks, development players. You're hoping someone like Jai Newcomb for the Hawks comes in 102k midfielder. He's highly rated. The Hawks apparently signed him to a 4-year deal as part of that. He's been playing in their Box Hill side, so he should already know the Hawks system and game plan. And with how they're struggling, he's someone that could actually get a debut in the next week or 2. The other one the Hawks picked up is actually Jackson Callow, who was tipped by some to go #1. He's a ready-made key forward, so his scoring probably won't be great. But if he gets a debut in the next game or 2, and you're looking for a forward downgrade option, then that's going to be your best bet. For me, I really want a defender option. I want to get out of one of Murphy or Highmore. Actually, do I need to? No. I need to get out of one of these soon so I can get Laird back in the thing. And I guess it can be maybe I don't need a defender rookie. But yeah, I'm going to be looking to get out of one of those 2 pretty quickly so I can get Laird back and then get My final mid, I was planning on that being Neil, but he's now got 163 break even after a pretty average debut. He looked all right, didn't look injured, just looked like someone that'd been returning from a long layoff. So getting out for the run, having the week off, then coming back and playing, I think, North on the return game, he could hit the 163, but as someone that I might wait off on getting, we'll see. And then Danger was intended to be my last forward slot, but there's a chance Impey's not a keeper anymore. His role looks to be developing, and with Day coming back into the side, I think it's Day that's coming back. Day may take over a lot of what Impey was doing, in which case we see him drop down to like an 80 average from here. I might want to get out of Impey as well, so maybe that's where one of these spare trades goes. So, I think that's the team at the moment. Those are the big things. I think we've covered most of them. My quick take is, like, or summary is, don't go overly aggressive on the 2 trades. It's really not that much. Make sure you're using them where you can to set up for the next buy, because that's one everyone's going to be suffering in. There's going to be teams fielding 12, 13, 14 players. So if you can get, 17, 18, 19 even on the field for next round, you're going to absolutely rocket up those ranks, which is what we like to see from the viewers. So yeah, make sure you're using them towards that rather than being overly aggressive with sideways trade would be my view. I think if you've got Grundy still, I would probably lean on the side of holding him. If you've got Zorko, I'd lean on the side of holding him. And in terms of rookies, it's Reeves, it's CCJ, it's Bianco. They're the top 3. Otherwise, we're kind of praying and hoping from teams this week and next week that we get some debutants that we can field for round 14. Desperately looking for those. So let me know how you did, how your team went, what you're weighing up, and I will see you in the next one.